Hi Libra, here is a general look at your solar chart for December 2012. But before I go there, I just want to say a few words about this December, which is the famous one, which has had all the media coverage and the movies and all the rest of it. So this is no ordinary moment on planet Earth, and this is no ordinary December. On the winter solstice of the 21st of the 12th, 2012, the moon is going to be in Aries. Now that alone signifies new beginnings. Aries is about pioneering into new territories. The sun will also be conjunct an asteroid called Juno. And it will be widely conjunct the planet Pluto. Now, Juno represents a kind of collective remembering, which may very well mean that we start to recall why we as spirits, as spiritual beings of light, have actually come down into these dominions, domains, planes, dimensions in the first place, to have a human experience in a physical body. It could mean that increasingly we start to remember, so it's not all going to be happening on that day, but I get the feeling that from that day, this frequency, which has been bombarding planet Earth, and the different sort of feel in the atmosphere is going to intensify. And there's going to be some surprises along the way, definitely, but we will begin to realize, we'll ask ourselves probably first, and there'll be more questions than answers for a while, but start to realize why we are here at this pivotal moment on planet Earth in her long history. And from December onwards, I think we're going to be reminded more and more about our old contracts, our contracts to our deep, deep past. To our soul family, to our spiritual path. And December the 21st, 2012 is the turning point moment when we get this amazing alignment to the galactic center, but also the sun and conjunct Juno, the moon in Aries, and also conjunct Pluto, and also all of the other planetary positions are helping us to emerge from this long winter, this galactic winter of 25,626 years, give or take. And we're going to start emerging from this and feel the first rays of the galactic spring warming us increasingly as the whole of our solar system begins to orbit back towards the galactic center instead of away, as it has been doing for several millennia. And we will be coming home to the truth of ourselves, to our origins, to ourselves as spiritual beings of light, having a human experience. And also as we begin this age of Aquarius, which is kind of a very slow beginning. We're in the very, very, very early glimmerings of the beginning time now, but we're still in the age of Pisces. The long remembering will begin, and begin in earnest. We begin to remember more and more not only our origins in the beating heart of love and unity at the center of our galaxy and in the center of ourselves and from source itself, but also we come back, according to Juno, into right relationship with the mothership and also with planet Earth, Mother Earth herself. And I'm hoping that this is being recorded because I haven't actually got the mic on, but so I'll just stick it on now. Okay, so what's going to be happening in December for you on a personality level, Libra? Well, here's an idea from your solar chart. The sun is in a very sociable area for you, Libra, until the 21st, and you could be connecting with faces and places and corresponding, gathering, sharing information, probably running around more mentally and physically, particularly after the 11th. And it's a time when you're going to have a lot on your mind and a lot to get your head around, including perhaps the occasional negotiation type situation. And then from the 21st, the focus will probably be more in turning on home, family, extended family, tribe, neighborhood, and that's over the wires as well, any kind of community. But more upon your inner self, your inner feelings. And the Sun is going to make a perfect conjunction with Pluto on the 29th, 30th. And that might mean there may be some kind of inner turmoil going on over that day or those couple of days for some of you. And you just need to remember to put the balance between the gut knowing and the rational thinking, so that you don't get so much of the conflict going on. And definitely trust your instincts. There's going to be a new moon in Sagittarius in a good angle to your sun sign Libra, and that might mean that if you wish to make new connections or spread the word on something, get the word out there, or maybe develop yourself through speaking and writing, then this eclipse is going to help you set your foot in the right direction over the subsequent 4 weeks from the eclipse day. Until the 11th, conversations tend to have a kind of practical slant, a sort of financial slant, property orientated maybe for some of you. Useful resources, money, possessions, equipment will tend to be emphasized. It's going to be about stuff. It could be about getting your hands on more, getting rid of it, moving it around, whatever it is. But definitely you'd be watching the piggy bank, having that very much on your mind, as would be typical at this time of the year. But it's not like that for all the signs. So this is just for you up until the 11th. And then you could be information gathering and, like I say, having discussions centered around the financial aspects of things, material objects, possessions, but also just resources, really. And anything around buying, selling, renting, leasing, borrowing, lending may be on your mind. Also health-related matters as well could be on your mind. But this would be a good moment for you to capitalize on any of your inborn assets, that's to say your natural gifts, Libra. And then from the 11th, Mercury enters a very sociable area, and just on the 11th there, watch your steps that you don't overlook something on the practical side of things. It could happen because of a brief transit of Neptune. But then from the 11th, Mercury enters a very sociable area and joins the position of the Sun, sort of turning the volume and the conversations up, centered around any kind of communications, or media, or communications equipment, vehicles, transport. There could be more paperwork on your plate, more correspondence necessary. But overall, it does tend to be a great time for connections, bouncing ideas off others, an enterprising period for some of you, a great time for making, linking up with people, and anything to do with buying and selling, or anything to do with over the wires as well. And then until the 16th, your ruling planet is in quite a materialistic area, which is about money and property, among other things. Actually, that could be quite good news, because at least it gives you a buffer there to do with monetary things or anything around property. And if you've been manifesting for yourself very well, it could actually bring you, put treats coming your way in the pipeline. So that's good news. Or it could be very good news. Overall, it means that you can do better if you play your cards right, and Venus tends to ease things materially, and you can, just one word of warning though, the Venus energy doesn't have an opinion about which way the energy flow could be going. So if Venus is in your area to do with finances, just try and perhaps restrain yourself from too much of that flow coming out of your pocket rather than into it. But you can do better materially at this time. The chance is there, and it's also a good time to really appreciate what you have, to improve on what you have, to embellish what you have, to decorate what you have. And just on that level there, Venus in here is good news, and it's about art as well. But also it can mean that teamwork, you teaming up with someone, can mean an ego boost, a fatter piggy bank, or just nicer things around you, and definitely better health as well. And then from the 16th, on the 16th itself, you might have to put yourself out a little bit more for somebody for some reason. But anyway, on the 16th, Venus goes into your communication sector, and it just makes you enjoy your daily routines a little bit more, maybe making a friend in the neighborhood, or just hearing things you like to hear from somebody. Just something which is supportive, supports you, or maybe you feel more articulate, because actually Venus here brings grace and flow and fluency to your speaking, your writing, or any other form of artistic self-expression. And you can be very persuasive in any kind of negotiation situation, or indeed if you have to sort of smooth somebody's ruffled feathers over something. And you're just likely to hear nicer things coming, around you. Now, until the 26th, Mars is at the root of your chart, and that means that you could be quite busy getting organized on the home base. If you're listening to this in November, you probably know what I'm talking about. Of course, it's always going to be felt more when a planet transits over an extra degree in your natal chart, and I can't know that from here, but in general, you'll be busy than usual on the home base. Oh, and getting back to Venus, there's probably going to be more a chance to have entertainment facilities or access to entertainment in your environment, Libra. So anyway, busy at home, busy maybe not at home, busy on a home base or a base of operations, maybe you're away. And also tendency for Mars here to mean that you're busier with family, family matters, family members. And because of family, or because of where you are, or a property situation, there's more physical effort needed from you to put your energies into something in a physical sense, to do with a working or living space, or to do with family, or tribe, or a neighborhood, or a community. And as a matter of fact, with with Mars here, emotions tend to be a little nearer the surface. It's easier to push your buttons. So just be aware of that. But definitely, if you can get the foundations right, and you might be, working quite hard to do that, some of you, if that's the way it's working, then that will give you the launch pad, the security, the feeling that you're organized at home, or you're organized on the basic levels, even if it's not home, to then use that as a launch pad into the bigger, wider world to achieve, those sorts of aims and ambitions out there in the world. But Mars moves on the 26th and then goes into a really fun area. It's party time for you. This is the house of fun. And from the 26th, well on into January, Mars is going to be here. And for some of you, this is in a romantic area as well. Definitely more contact and more interaction with young people and children for some of you, or with lovers, or with sort of in the romance department anyway. Or if it's not that, you're just going to get the chance to feel less guarded, more spontaneous, more empowered by the activities or the interests that you're getting involved in. And also feeling appreciated, more appreciated probably in certain company. But competitive type activities or speculative type activities could be happening with Libra here. And elements, enterprises with an element of risk involved also could be emphasized for some of you. And remember, Mars tends to be hasty, so just steady as you go. And, if you can sleep on something before you've got to make a decision, then do that. And whatever's going on from the 26th, you're going to have the chance to enjoy special moments in relationships, whether that is through more time spent with, young people, lovers, or a romantic situation. Pets as well, they come into this. or some kind of project, and just doing this sort of hanging out with sort of people you enjoy being with, and getting active with pursuits which allow you to project yourself from your center, your core. So that sounds like good news to me. And that's it for December. And if you want to know what Jupiter and Saturn and all the rest of the slower moving planets are doing, that's on my website. Also, you might like to find your rising sign and your moon side. That can give you a little bit more of an idea what might be coming up over the month ahead. And may I wish you a happy time during the festive season, and I'll see you the next time.